Okay, so we're going to get into string formatting. And string formatting is a really smooth sort of way of putting variables into a string. It's like a fill in the blanks kind of a thing. So if instead of bananas here, I want to do this, okay? Or let's start with a value here, fruit. Um, no, let's call it an adjective. There we go. Okay, so I've got a string here, and you'll see some weird characters in these strings. I always think they look like sideways mustaches. They are called curly braces. So we have a left curly brace and a right curly brace. And as with many of these punctuation marks that enclose things, we always have a opening one and a closing one that match. In this case, they surround what look like um, variable names. Now, if I print this, if I print that, it just prints the string because it's just a string literal. But if I do this, which is to format that string, okay, I'm calling a method, a string method called format against this str text, and I'm putting it into str new. When I do that, I am actually telling this that I'm going to put things in those spots. So uh, okay, so what I've done here is I've said, I'm going to take this string up here and I'm going to format it. And in the spot that says str fruit, I'm going to put the word oranges. In the one that says str adjective, I'm going to put orange. I know, I'm super creative. But now, if I print str new, then it prints that string with those things put into the blanks. Notice the curly braces also disappear. And then I can easily change parts of that string using variable values. Now that's one way to do it with string format. There is another way to do it, and it's a little bit of a shorthand, although it is more likely to be confusing later because I'm not labeling those spots anymore. I'm just saying this goes in the, they'll just fill them in the order. You need to have the same number of things that you're putting in as you have spots. But if you do, it'll just fill them in order, just like that. So it works just the same. I can do that. I can also number them if I want to, and this does the same thing. You always start with 0 because it's what we call an index, and anytime we hear the word index, it always starts at 0, not 1. Okay, so we can do that, but really there's no advantage to that. I don't love this method anyway, but the other advantage that we can do is let's say I have this value for the second one, They cost okay, so this allows me to inject a decimal into a string. And the reason that's nice is because a string, I cannot do this with it. I couldn't, because you can't add a number to a string literal. If you do this, Python wants to do math. Now I could do this, but then it removes my ability to do math on that number. So if I want to have the best of both worlds, then I want to use string formatting. And what this says is that this should be formatted as a decimal with 2 decimal spaces. So I could, let's say my oranges were super expensive, but I have a weird number for my calculations. You can see I can do this, and I can also do things like if I add a comma to this formatting code, it'll put in number separators for me. So it does some cool things. I'll show you some other formatting tricks with string format as we move forward. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. I just want you to know that that exists right now. As we get into some more advanced applications, we're going to be playing around with this a whole lot. So it will be very useful to you. Now, I taught you the format method because I want you to know it. I want you to know that it exists. I want you to be able to read code where somebody else had used the format method. And there's the page for that. I'm not going to go over it because I'm going to show you something better, okay?